Qualities of zodiac signs, movable, fixed, and dual signs, Leo, Part 5. Leo is a fixed or Sthira sign, ruled by the sun, and belongs to the fire element. Fixed signs are grounded in Tamas Guna, which may seem passive, but in Leo, it expresses as noble stability and purposeful endurance. While fire usually wants to move and expand, Leo contains that fire within, radiating it steadily. It doesn't flicker or race ahead like Aries. It stands tall, warm, and unwavering, shining with regal presence and inner certainty. When Leo rises as the ascendant, the personality exudes self-assurance, dignity, and a need for recognition. Unlike Aries, which pushes outward to conquer, Leo's fixity gives it a sense of control and contained power. These individuals are less likely to jump from one identity to another. They know who they are and prefer to develop and express that core over time. This brings confidence, but also a potential for ego attachment and stubbornness in self-image. When Leo occupies the 4th house, as it does for Taurus ascendant, there is a strong emotional need for authority and respect within the home. The home becomes a place where one wants to feel honored, where traditions are preserved, and where pride in one's heritage is deeply rooted. These natives might resist changing their living circumstances or family roles, preferring continuity and legacy over experimentation. The mother or home environment may also represent a source of personal pride or even dominance. With Leo in the 7th house, as it appears for Aquarius ascendant, partnerships are often approached with loyalty and high expectations. These individuals look for partners they can admire and be proud of, often seeking someone who can either reflect their own light or be a steady audience to their performance. The fixed fire quality means once committed, they remain loyal, but there may be rigidity in roles or struggles if they feel unappreciated in the relationship. In career, Leo in the 10th house, as for Scorpio ascendant, indicates a path of visibility, authority, and expressive leadership. These individuals often find themselves in positions where they must lead by presence, whether in education, performance, politics, or any field where charisma is currency. But being a fixed sign, Leo doesn't easily switch career paths. It prefers a central role and works hard to maintain its standing. Changes, if any, are approached with reluctance or prideful resistance. Leo's fixity is unique because it stabilizes something naturally radiant. Rather than chasing attention, Leo holds its place and lets attention come to it. This stability allows deep cultivation of talent, self-expression, or a sense of divine purpose. But it can also result in being overly fixed in one's opinions, image, or path. The internal mantra becomes, "I know who I am," which works beautifully unless growth demands a new definition. Tamas Guna here acts as rootedness, not lethargy. It anchors Leo's fiery will, offering poise and constancy. But when unchecked, it can tip into vanity, authoritarianism, or resistance to feedback. The sun as ruler insists on integrity, so Leo's challenge is to radiate with inner authority, not external dominance. Its strength lies in inspiring others through example, not control. So wherever Leo is placed, whether shaping your personality, home, relationships, or profession, it brings the energy of radiant constancy. It teaches the wisdom of holding one's ground, nurturing one's inner fire, and committing to the path of dignified self-expression. Leo doesn't adapt easily, but when it chooses a path, it walks it with majesty. Changing energies of planets with qualities of zodiac sign. Part 5, Leo with conjunctions. Leo is a fixed fire sign, ruled by the sun and governed by Tamas Guna. While Tamas is usually associated with inertia, in Leo it manifests as majestic steadiness, pride in identity, and dignified persistence. Planets placed in Leo become expressive, self-aware, and often theatrical. Leo doesn't act from impulse, like Aries, but from intention. It seeks to radiate, to lead, and to leave a mark. Its fixed nature means planets here don't shift easily once committed. Conjunctions in Leo often revolve around themes of status, recognition, leadership, artistic confidence, or ego evolution, depending on the planetary mix and house placement. Begin with Sun plus Mercury in Leo in the 1st house. This creates Buddha Aditya Yoga, blending intellect and authority. In Leo, it produces someone who speaks from a place of conviction, with a warm yet persuasive tone. These individuals are often leaders in thought, education, or performance. Mercury in Leo isn't just analytical, it's theatrical, witty, and rhetorical. In the ascendant, this creates natural spokespersons, charismatic teachers, or politicians. If Mercury is combust or afflicted, there may be ego-influenced decisions or difficulty accepting critique. Moon Venus in Leo in the second house enhances beauty and charm through speech, emotional appeal, and refined taste. The moon provides emotional rhythm, and Venus brings aesthetics. Leo gives them performance. This combination may create a talented singer, actor, or speaker who communicates from the heart. The second house here also points to inheritance of family pride or an emotionally indulgent relationship with wealth. If well placed, this pairing grants grace in public expression. If afflicted, it may lead to vanity or emotional dependence on praise. Mars plus Jupiter in Leo in the 10th house forms Guru Mangala Yoga, combining courage and wisdom in the domain of career. Mars acts with confidence, Jupiter expands vision. In Leo, both gain self-assured expression. This is the chart of a principled warrior, teacher, or reformer, someone who wants to do good and be recognized for it. In the 10th house, this combo supports success in law, administration, leadership, or military roles. If afflicted, there may be righteousness that borders on arrogance or professional clashes due to moral rigidity. Saturn plus Mercury in Leo in the 3rd house gives methodical communication with slow but deliberate articulation. Saturn tempers Mercury's agility, and Leo forces both into self-aware expression. In the 3rd house of communication, writing, and courage, this duo creates individuals who may initially struggle with self-expression, but mature into powerful, respected thinkers. They often pursue journalism, technical writing, or strategic roles in education or media. If unaided, it may cause early shyness or fear of visibility. If supported by the Sun or Jupiter, it becomes strategic brilliance. Sun's Rahu in Leo in the 5th house can form an inflated ego or a charismatic performer who thrives on public attention. Rahu magnifies the Sun's need for validation, and Leo adds drama. In the 5th house of creativity, children, and self-expression, this combo can bring fame, political ambition, or a childlike need for applause. These individuals may have a powerful public persona, often gaining recognition through performance, leadership, or speculative ventures. If Jupiter aspects, this becomes a visionary with mass influence. If afflicted, it can indicate ego imbalances or obsession with status. Venus plus Mars in Leo in the 4th house is passionate, sensual, and expressive in emotional and domestic life. Venus desires connection. Mars pushes for pursuit. Leo turns both into romantic pride and loyal affection. In the 4th house, this combination reflects strong emotional expression in the home, attachment to family honor, and love for luxurious surroundings. It can create warmth, loyalty, and aesthetic refinement in family life, but may also trigger possessiveness or romantic drama if Venus is afflicted. Jupiter plus Saturn in Leo in the 7th house balances expansion and discipline in relationships. Jupiter brings wisdom and generosity. Saturn brings commitment and realism. In Leo, both emphasize dignity and mutual respect. This pairing in the 7th house creates marriages based on principle, loyalty, and often status alignment. These individuals may marry late but wisely, choosing partners who reflect their own inner strength and stature. Professionally, they are drawn to law, governance, and long-term contracts. When well aspected, it creates Dharma Karma Dipati Yoga and fosters maturity in all partnerships. Moon Ketu in Leo in the 11th house disconnects the emotional mind from social validation. Moon in Leo craves recognition, but Ketu wants withdrawal. In the 11th house of friends, gains, and collective influence, this may produce someone who seems emotionally present but internally detached. These natives often have karmic lessons around popularity, group dynamics, and emotional independence. If supported by Jupiter or Sun, they can become spiritual mentors or wise guides who use their social position to uplift others. Sun plus Mars Mercury in Leo in the 6th house forms a powerful triad of courage, communication, and leadership. The Sun commands, Mars executes, and Mercury organizes. Leo turns this into bold but strategic action. In the 6th house of conflict, service, and daily work, this combination produces dynamic problem solvers, ambitious professionals, or athletic figures. It's ideal for lawyers, public servants, or crisis managers. If the Sun rules the ascendant or 10th, this forms a variation of Raja Yoga. If afflicted, it can indicate burnout or overcompetition in the workplace. Jupiter plus Venus plus Ketu in Leo in the 9th house yields a refined spiritual seeker with artistic tastes and philosophical detachment. Jupiter gives dharma, Venus gives aesthetic devotion, and Ketu cuts through dogma. In Leo, these energies focus on personal spiritual truth and expression of values through artistic or devotional forms. These individuals may become non-traditional teachers, spiritual artists, or those who blend beauty with ethics in global or academic settings. This is especially potent if supported by Moon or Mercury in Kendra. Saturn plus Rahu in Leo in the 12th house reflects karmic restriction around expression or visibility. Saturn governs structure. Rahu amplifies ambition. In Leo, these forces may work inwardly, producing individuals who feel the urge to shine but fear exposure. In the 12th house, this can give deep psychological complexity, powerful inner ambition, or roles in behind-the-scenes leadership. If the sun is weak, there may be self-doubt or hidden competition. If strong, this combo gives silent command, someone who leads without craving the spotlight. Conjunctions in Leo highlight the need to be seen, valued, and remembered. The Sthira nature makes these energies consistent and loyal, but also resistant to change once the ego is invested. In Leo, planetary pairs express with flair and commitment, whether that's through performance, protection, mentoring, or righteous leadership. These conjunctions don't just act, they shine, and the soul must learn to use that light for something higher than mere personal pride. When guided by conscience and clarity, Leo conjunctions produce leaders with heart, performers with integrity, and creators whose impact endures. Changing energies of planets with qualities of zodiac sign. Part 5. Leo, continued with more conjunctions and yogas. Leo's fixed fire. Nature offers a stable flame, warm, illuminating, and expressive. It rules the heart, the spine, and symbolic center stage in life. Conjunctions in Leo intensify themes of performance, pride, legacy, and influence. Planets placed here seek nobility and authenticity in expression. With Leo's solar rulership and Tamas Guna, energies here don't dissipate quickly. They hold form, identity, and attention. Below are some rarer or deeper conjunctions in Leo and the yogas they may generate. Moon plus Jupiter in Leo in the 5th house forms a classic Gaja Kasari yoga, known for emotional dignity, intelligence, and moral charisma. The moon represents feeling, Jupiter represents higher wisdom. In Leo, this yoga becomes radiant, ideal for inspiring teachers, public speakers, or spiritual guides. In the 5th house, these natives often have noble-minded children, deep creative talent, and an instinct for educating or performing in meaningful ways. If supported by strong Mercury or Venus, it may produce a devotional artist or orator. Mars plus Saturn in Leo in the 1st house reflects a conflict between personal will and long-term discipline. Mars in Leo wants to shine. Saturn demands restraint. In the ascendant, this can produce someone with stoic charisma, a leader who earns respect through tested endurance rather than flashy expression. If Mars dominates, there's pride-driven ambition. If Saturn dominates, there's a quiet workhorse. Balanced, this forms Tapasvi Yoga, the spiritual warrior or the karmic reformer, who commands from the center but without ostentation. Sun plus Venus Rahu in Leo in the 3rd house results in someone whose communication is charismatic, persuasive, and potentially fame-seeking. The Sun seeks personal expression, Venus adds charm, and Rahu intensifies the desire for attention. In the 3rd house of writing, media and siblings, this person may become a social media influencer, actor, or entertainer with magnetism in their speech and public relations. With Jupiter's aspect, this becomes a powerful Rajasic communication yoga, creative success with strategic voice. If unafflicted, this trio brings widespread popularity. Mercury plus Ketu in Leo in the 2nd house detaches intellectual expression from ego and makes speech concise, sharp, and sometimes mystical. Mercury in Leo wants to express with pride, but Ketu strips down language to essential truth. These individuals may possess a deep voice of wisdom, often expressed through poetry, minimalism, or spiritual discourse. The 2nd house also links to memory and wealth. Ketu's influence may detach them from wealth accumulation, yet bless them with subtle intellect and detached ethics. Venus plus Saturn's moon in Leo in the 4th house creates a reserved emotional world, colored by refinement, structure, and karmic depth. The moon wants to feel, Venus wants to love, Saturn adds caution and depth. In Leo, these are proud feelings, dignified but not easily shown. This combination may suggest someone from a traditional or conservative family where beauty and emotional control were emphasized. If well supported, this can produce a graceful artist who creates from emotional stillness. If afflicted, it may lead to emotional repression or prideful detachment from family. Jupiter plus Mercury's Sun in Leo in the 9th house creates a dazzling intellect grounded in authority and dharma. Jupiter brings wisdom, Mercury articulation, and the Sun royal presence. In the 9th house, these qualities uplift dharma, law, and philosophy. This is an excellent yoga for judges, spiritual authors, high-level teachers, or thought leaders in education. If all planets are strong and benefic, this forms Trividya Yoga, mastery over speech, law, and religious doctrine. The fixed fire sign ensures their teachings become part of a larger legacy. Mars Rahu in Leo in the 6th house creates Angarak Yoga, a volatile and dynamic combination. Mars already thrives in the 6th, being the house of war, service, and competition. Rahu adds fearless unconventionality and strategic ruthlessness. In Leo, this creates a general who doesn't retreat, someone with strong presence in military, sports, crisis management, or law enforcement. If afflicted, it can create excessive pride, conflict with authority, or health issues due to overexertion. If Mars is well placed and Jupiter supports, this becomes a karma-clearing force with public impact. Venus plus Ketu in Leo in the 12th house leads to detachment from fame, sensuality, or love recognition. Venus in Leo wants to love dramatically and be adored, but Ketu spiritualizes and dissolves that need. In the 12th house of loss, foreign places, and the unconscious, this conjunction often points to a mystical or artistic person who thrives in solitude or foreign creative settings. They may be private artists, spiritual poets, or individuals who sacrifice pleasure for soul growth. When Venus rules the 10th or 5th, it may also show careers in spiritual performance or isolated luxury service. Moon plus Mercury Mars in Leo in the 11th house activates a vivid, expressive, and highly strategic social personality. The Moon emotes, Mercury negotiates, and Mars pursues. Leo drives all three through heart-centered ambition. In the house of gains and networks, this creates a forceful connector, often a dynamic entrepreneur or group leader. If Mercury is exalted or supported by Jupiter, this can produce a Maha Maitri Yoga, gains through friends, media, and courageous ideas. If afflicted, it can lead to control issues or theatrical rivalry in circles. Sun plus Jupiter plus Saturn in Leo in the 8th house can produce Raja Yoga with deep esoteric intelligence and karmic authority. Sun governs the soul, Jupiter gives dharmic direction, Saturn governs karmic endurance. The 8th house deepens and transforms whatever touches it. This conjunction may point to a royal lineage, inner strength in times of crisis, or leadership in hidden institutions like intelligence, ancient sciences, or mysticism. If Moon supports, this configuration often becomes a spiritual protector or a karmic initiator for others. Rahu plus Venus plus Mars in Leo in the 7th house creates a deeply magnetic, dramatic, and sometimes volatile dynamic in relationships. Venus seeks connection, Mars pursues it, and Rahu distorts or intensifies desires. Leo gives them pride and grandeur. These individuals may marry charismatic but unpredictable partners or have karmic romantic patterns that demand spiritual maturation. If Venus is strong and Mercury supports, this combo can also produce a glamorous public figure with global charm. Conjunctions in Leo channel the need to be authentically seen. The Sthira Rashi nature makes the expressions durable. These people don't just shine in flashes, they build lasting images, lasting roles, and lasting creative or moral frameworks. Whether through politics, performance, parenting, or spiritual influence, conjunctions in Leo shape a person's legacy. When the ego is tempered by higher principles, Leo doesn't just lead, it inspires, and becomes the sun around which others orient.